As you know in the intro, I like old cookbooks. I'm not very happy with my printer these days, but what can I do? Oh, remember, like, share, subscribe, smash the notifications, leave a comment. You know the drill. So what I like to do every now and then is go through some of my old cookbooks. And I do mean old. Such as this one here, mid-60s. It's the new one. So I was going through, I've got some this early teens, 30s, 40s. This is the Mystery Chef's own cookbook. This one I think is copyright 1943. Yep, 1943. I get my cookbooks a lot from used bookstores, antique shops, stuff like this. This was an antique shop. Some of those were the used bookstores too. So I was looking through this, saw a recipe, and as you can tell, I'm injured. So I can't be using the knife and stuff like that. So I'm gonna bake something. I get in here, biscuit, muffin, and breads, chapter on, and I see a recipe for gingerbread. I love gingerbread, so let's make it. So it starts off with the dry ingredients. So in here I've got 2 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, teaspoon of ginger. We'll put that all in there and we'll mix that up real quick. You want the dry ingredients to be combined before it goes into the mixer, because you can still get spots with just all flour and no flavor, or you can get a big old blotch of baking powder. You don't want that, because then you'll have one area that's just all light and fluffy and stuff like that. So take the time, only takes a second, mix it up. So the first step to putting it all together is, well, the mixer. Get this all set up, move it in, paddle attachment, 1/3 cup of butter or shortening. I like butter. And half cup of sugar. We'll get that mixed up. This, of course, is called creaming. Start it off slow and then let it go. It'll take a few minutes. Don't skimp on this step. Make sure it's fully creamed, and I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. Look at that. See how it's all light and fluffy? That's exactly what you're looking for. We can start adding the other ingredients now. First thing we'll add, 1/4 cup of molasses. I like this one with the 2 sides. Then it calls for 2 eggs. We're gonna add them one at a time. Okay, now we're ready for our flour, and the recipe calls for sweet milk. What they mean by sweet milk is not buttermilk. A little special term that they use. We just want regular, plain old milk. I'm let's add the flour, start adding that in. We'll add it in installments. Always turn your mixer down when you start adding flour and stuff, otherwise it'll be all over my Goonies t-shirt. We'll add some milk. Wait till that's incorporated. And we'll add the rest of the flour. Time for the last milk. Okay, I'm going to don some gloves because this is going to get messy and we don't like that. So it says to throw it in a grease tin. I greased and floured this one. Again, I love these things, and they're super cheap. Yeah, it's okay to get your hands into this. So we'll just spread it out a little bit, make sure it's all the way to the edges. And this is going to go into a 350-degree oven for about, we'll say about 50 minutes. But we're going to check on it in about 25. Again, that old girl, she's a little iffy. So we're gonna spin this pan around at about 25 minutes. When you become a chef, you start thinking about how are you gonna build the plate, not just the gingerbread itself. You start thinking about what will go with the gingerbread to knock it up to that next level. Well, a lot of desserts, you're gonna have usually a fruit component, which we've got some berry coulis I made the other day. You've seen how I do this. That's my French toast show. If you don't, it's up there. Go ahead and look it up. But also, we've got mascarpone cheese. And this is more of a cream element to it. A lot of people would use whipped cream and stuff like that. I like having something with a little bit more substance to it. So this is 8 ounces of mascarpone cheese. Mascarpone is, you probably had tiramisu. That's what mascarpone is used in. It's probably its most famous use. But I find this stuff is good on toast, on bagels, just good stuff like that. Mascarpone's pretty good, but it needs a little bit of flavor. So we're gonna take some orange zest. I'm gonna use about half of it. This is about half an orange. The rest, I'm gonna let dry. And you'll see why. Well, you've seen me do it before on my coffee video, or cold brew coffee. So I've got that, a little bit of orange liqueur. That's probably about a tablespoon. Another tablespoon of orange juice from the orange I got the zest from. And honey. This is probably going to take about 2 tablespoons of honey. Or thereabouts. And we'll just mix it up. So now we have an orange mascarpone cream to go with our gingerbread. Okay, so we've completely cooled. Let's slide this off the rack. Cut ourselves a piece here. But first, let's get a little of this berry coulis down. Drop our gingerbread. And just a dollop of our mascarpone cheese. And while we're at it, we've got this dried orange zest. We'll just garnish with that. There you have it. This will go to show what old books will give you.